I learned growing up that not all homes have four walls. I remember the kiddie pool I played in at our old house, the house we lost after my mom finished serving in the Army and couldn't pay the bills. That was a home. And there was the gas station, where I slept in that same kiddie pool the night we fled domestic abuse and had nowhere else to go. That was a home. Then there was the shelter we stayed at while Mom got back on her feet. But moving from place to place, one thing stayed the same. The classrooms where my teachers encouraged me. The lunchroom where I always had a meal. The support system that gave me structure. My school was a home too. And that's why I was able to get a full scholarship to college, become an educator, and eventually, I ran for school board here in Texas.
What a powerful, and now she's running as the Democratic candidate for U.S. Congress in Texas's 24th district. Candace Valenzuela joins us now. Candace, welcome back. How do you think Texas is doing in terms of early voting and Democrats stepping up? And what do you think your candidacy has to do with it?
Well, I have to say it's been electric here in Texas, especially over the last couple of weeks. Early voting started a week earlier than it traditionally would, and there are lines going out the door. I think the very first day of early voting, people were lined up at 5:45 for a 7 a.m. opening. And in my race, just yesterday, we surpassed our 2016 total turnout. So we're expected to see a whole lot of new voters, young voters, voters of color. And we are trying to make sure that as folks are going to the polls, they're informed, they're protected. We're telling them what they need to bring with them. And we're just trying to keep those lines of communication open. If anybody would like to help with that, you can go to my website, candacefor24.com. We're always looking for volunteers to be on the phones with folks to get them there safely.
Candace, Victoria DeFrancesco Soto is still with us, and she has a question for you. Victoria?
Thanks, Mika. So, Candace, I want to hear more about what women on the ground in the suburbs of Dallas-Fort Worth are saying to you. You know, we saw that Republican ad earlier today that we talked about on Morning Joe, that women are concerned about their husbands getting jobs. Is it that, or is it women looking to how they are going to get back on their feet, how they are going to get jobs, and what else is pressing on the conscience of Black, brown, and white women in these Texas suburbs?
I mean, that ad is frankly quite insulting, as we are seeing hundreds of thousands of women across the country losing their jobs. These jobs that they've treasured, jobs that gave them fulfillment. And their kids do too. Our families give us fulfillment as well. But to have to feel as though we're forced out of the workforce because of the demands placed on us due to COVID-19, it's tragic. And so many of the moms that I'm talking to, so many of the families that I'm talking to are concerned about getting back to work, but getting back to work safely. They're concerned about getting their kids back to school, but getting them back in school safely. And when you have a federal government that fails to acknowledge that COVID-19 exists, actively thwarts people trying to follow the science, and doesn't want to make sure that we have the adequate protective gear in order to get us into the position to have a flourishing economy and to have flourishing educations. Moms are going to be communicating with their votes at the polls. They want to see action, but they want it to be pragmatic. They want it to be based in facts and reality. And that's just not what we've been getting over these past few months.
Thanks for checking out MSNBC on YouTube, and make sure you subscribe to stay up to date on the day's biggest stories. And you can click on any of the videos around us to watch more from Morning Joe and MSNBC. Thanks so much for watching.